Make no mistake, Andrew, the industry knows that Tesla is in the lead, and that lead is expected to continue throughout this decade.
Hey, I'm Steven, and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Make sure you're sitting down for this, folks. We have some shocking news today, absolutely breaking news. This is just incredible. I cannot believe it. There is new research out suggesting, wait for it, are you sitting down? Make sure, okay, right, ready? Suggesting that Tesla has a technological lead in terms of batteries. And wait for it, that it's a really big lead. I know, this is just groundbreaking stuff. I am absolutely shocked. This is just, whew, geez, who would have thought? So, in this video, I'm going to be reacting to some of this breaking research, some of the insights around Tesla's battery technology. I'll share a few of my thoughts and opinions on the matter as well. Let's get into the video. But first, hey guys, if you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. Unless you don't like free stocks, that is. And if you're in Australia, the UK or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
Automakers are making big bets on an all-electric future, and one company has already taken the clear lead when it comes to battery innovation. Philip O has the exclusive details of a new study. Hey, Phil.
Hey, Becky, I get this question a lot from people. They say, well, why is Tesla considered the leader when it comes to EVs, and in particular, the lowest cost for making an electric vehicle? It's all about the battery.
Well, who would have thought? It boils down to the battery pack. The most expensive thing in the vehicle by miles, the battery, which can run anywhere from sort of $6,000 to $10,000 for a typical electric vehicle today in terms of cost. Who would have thought how important it would be to have a lead in this particular area? Gosh, please go on, tell us more.
New research from Cairn Energy Research Advisors, which tracks the EV battery industry and the supply chains. Look at this. For every lithium-ion battery cell, the average price Tesla pays $142 per kilowatt hours, well above General Motors and way above, 24% above the global EV industry average.
So just to clarify, based on the research from this firm, I haven't verified myself, so let's just assume, give them the benefit of the doubt and assume these figures are fairly accurate. They're suggesting that Tesla is at $142 per kilowatt hour and GM is 19% higher at $169 per kilowatt hour, and the global EV average in the marketplace, $186 per kilowatt hour, which is 30% higher than Tesla's costs. Keeping in mind that this isn't accounting for Tesla's new improved 4680 cell unveiled at Battery Invest today, which is around 50% lower in terms of costs than their current technology.
3 things are helping Tesla. Obviously, we talk a lot about the Gigafactory. We were just out there a couple of weeks ago. It continues to grow in size. The size and scale of Tesla's use of battery cells gives them a cost advantage relative to everybody else. It also has relationships with 3 suppliers. To a certain extent, it can play off those suppliers off of each other. And then there's Elon Musk's relentless pursuit of even lower costs. So even though Tesla is closing the gap with or GM is closing the gap with Tesla over the next decade, Musk and Tesla are expected to stay in the lead.
What a bombshell. Tesla are expected to maintain their lead in battery technology over the next decade. However, something there I was a little bit confused about. Phil suggesting that GM is going to be closing the gap with Tesla over the next 10 years, but Tesla will still remain in the lead. I'm not sure how they're defining closing the gap here. I guess if you're assuming that GM is literally starting from a standing stop and hasn't actually got any battery technology whatsoever, then technically anything they do will close the gap, right? But Tesla's lead is accelerating. As they unveiled at Battery Day, they have a very short-term plan in the next couple of years to halve their battery costs. Like, this is astonishing progress. I don't see GM getting closer to Tesla. I see Tesla pulling further and further into the lead and everyone in the industry scrambling to catch up. This is Tesla, who has re-engineered, redesigned and revolutionized the battery cell, right? Tesla. It wasn't Panasonic. It wasn't LG Chem, it wasn't CATL. Tesla said, you know what? The battery cells that we're getting from our suppliers aren't good enough for what we need. Let's invent better cells and then produce them ourselves and get our suppliers to produce them for us as well. And that is exactly what Tesla did. Tesla is literally cutting edge in terms of battery technology. So the notion that GM is catching up or going to close the lead over the next decade, maybe the way that they're inferring this is GM is going to scale to high volumes and therefore economies of scale, but I'm not really buying this.
The scale allows them to keep the advantage, but remember, they're not just designing around the cell, around the battery. They're designing around an integrated pack. And you see other car makers starting to do that too. GM is doing that, VW is doing that. but Tesla is doing it in such a way that does give them an advantage going out 10 years.
You heard Sam Jaffe talk about battery pack cost. That's the other aspect. It's not just what you pay for the battery cell. It's how much it costs you to put it all together into a battery pack. And here you see the latest forecast from Cairn Energy Research Advisors. It expects Tesla to be in the lead all the way through 2030.
What is going on here? I'm looking at this graph here now, and it's suggesting that Tesla's costs will continue to be lower than General Motors until, let's say, around 2022, 23. Then GM's costs fall below Tesla's for about 5 years period. Let's call it until 2026 or so, 27. Then GM's costs slightly exceed Tesla's. Basically, they're tracking towards each other, but GM actually being cheaper than Tesla's costs for about half that time period, but Tesla ultimately closing out the decade cheaper than GM. Now, I haven't looked at this research in detail. I'm just trying to question myself from a very high level here. How do you draw this conclusion when Tesla has literally unveiled a plan to literally halve their battery costs in the next 2 to 3 years at Battery Invest today? Do you just ignore Tesla's plan? Am I missing something? Am I too high, guys? Let me know in the comments below. Am I missing something? How does this make any sense? Now, I'm guessing that what they've done here is they've assumed, okay, well, Tesla's building more EVs than GM today, but GM has more scale, so in 2-3 years time, GM will be building more EVs than Tesla, therefore economies of scale, therefore their battery costs will be cheaper, and they're just completely disregarding Tesla's plan unveiled at Battery Invest today, or assuming that General Motors will just use the exact same cells and just completely be able to copy everything Tesla has done.
Now, you do see that General Motors closes the gap, and by 2030, Tesla is expected to be down to $106 per kilowatt hour on the battery packs, GM at $115, and then you've got the industry, which is going to be paying much more per kilowatt hour for its battery packs. As you take a look at GM and Tesla, keep in mind that General Motors has a new Ultium battery plant that's going to be starting in Ohio next year. That will help them with the size and the scale as it starts to close that gap with Tesla.
Just in case your memory needs refreshing, in 2014, Tesla announced and began construction on their Gigafactory, and the GM equivalent factory in the United States will begin construction next year in 2022. 8 years after Tesla had the foresight and the vision to put the capital up front and try to get on top of battery cell production because they knew that they would need as many as they could possibly get, and that driving the cost of those down was critically important. I mean, do I need to say anything else?
Make no mistake, Andrew. The industry knows that Tesla is in the lead, and that lead is expected to continue throughout this decade.
Shocking revelations here today, folks. Tesla has a huge technological advantage with their batteries and are going to maintain that lead throughout the next decade. Obviously, I'm just joking around here, having a little bit of fun. Now, obviously, this isn't news. Everyone watching this channel is well and truly aware that Tesla has a huge lead in terms of their battery technology. That's one, but not the only. One of the many reasons why they're so far ahead. They're also pioneering new manufacturing techniques. Now, I just want to give you guys some context, right? Tesla, who some people just think they're an automotive manufacturer, they just make cars. Just think about this for a moment. They've completely revolutionized, upended, and really honestly embarrassed the battery cell industry completely by getting a far better battery cell and unveiling plans at Battery Invest today, and now they're having their suppliers go, hey guys, here's how you build this much better cell. So Tesla's literally giving their designs now to these other manufacturers to build them for them. This is how far ahead Tesla, when they apply their engineering brains to one problem. Now, Tesla's also applying these same level of talented engineering brains to solving new problems in manufacturing. Tesla is literally doing cutting edge material science. They've invented new materials, a new metallic material that they can inject in huge molds and do their huge gigacasting, removing literally hundreds of parts and processes in their Model Y and Model 3. This is enormous. This is where things are going. So just to give you guys some context, every time Tesla puts their brains at something, oh, let's build a new AI chip that's better than anything in the industry. Let's build this neural network. Like every time Tesla seems to put their engineering brains to a problem, they invent something that's better than any solution available by miles, world class. That should really tell you something about how Tesla's going to be able to maintain their technological lead, including on batteries, I think, going into the future. In fact, I think there comes a point in the future, years down the track, but at some point in the future where Tesla is able to scale production beyond their own needs, at which point I think there'll be many other companies, not just automotive manufacturers, but many other companies who want Tesla's batteries and will buy/license them because the technology is so far ahead of everything else out in the marketplace. Now, I could be wrong here, but I think that this is a pretty likely outcome. Keep in mind, Tesla's already the world leader in batteries. They've got all of these partnerships. They've got feelers out there making sure they're on top of all the latest research. If there's any companies, technologies they need to acquire along the way, they will. They've got the resources. They're going to be producing more of these cells than anybody else on Earth, putting them in more products. They're going to have more experience, more data, more knowledge, blah, 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 blah. I don't see anyone catching them. I think that this lead continues to accelerate and they become the world's core supplier of battery cells. Of course, I could be totally wrong on this, but this is where I think things are heading. I'd love to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. Do you think over the long term that Tesla will become a battery cell supplier and actually sell their battery cells to other companies? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget, if you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. And if you're in Australia, the UK or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.